I wanted to clarify that line of questioning in regards to raising taxes. Could I get the mayors or their representatives to answer a question, please? Oh, yes, yes, Mayor Kenoi, that would be good.
Yes, Representative.
Aloha.
Regarding your budget,
Yeah.
I wanted to clarify because I'm not hearing this correctly, I think. The question is asked, if we take the TAT, then would that mean property tax raises?
Absolutely, positively.
If we don't take the TAT, that means you're not going to raise property taxes.
Then I will submit a balanced budget on March 1st that does not include 18 million in property taxes on the good people of the county of Hawaii.
Okay,
Yes.
so you're not going to raise the property taxes?
I'll be adjusting rates. Again, I have an $82 million shortfall over the last 2 years. where
Right.
We have employee furloughs. I cut 5% last year, 10% this year. We're targeting up to 17 to 20% operation reductions, so 30% of operation reductions.
So are
I'm
you-
gonna go revenue neutral. You take the 18 million, our 18 million, that 18 million comes out of property taxes from the people of the county of Hawaii, yes.
Okay.
So the question is, if we take, back to your question.
We don't take the TAT from
There'll be
Big
no
Island, there's
additional property tax increase on the people of the county of Hawaii beyond the revenue neutral property tax rate adjustment.
beyond the revenue neutral, what does that mean?
All that means is you adjust the rate so you come in revenue neutral. If your
So does
property
that mean,
taxes
like-
decline by 10%, you adjust your rates to make up the 10% that your property taxes declined.
Okay, so what you're saying is that they would have paid lesser taxes, property taxes, but you're gonna allow for the increase of those taxes,
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
right? You said
I'm not
revenue.
sure about that.
Okay,
Okay, so
One
back
year
to
to
your
the next,
question.
yes.
Okay, your question is, if we take 18 million, where does it come from? I think is where you're headed.
no. My
No?
question is this. We're not gonna, say we don't take the money,
Okay,
okay? We don't take TAT,
thank you for that.
okay? Say, if we don't take TAT, I'm a property owner on the Big Island, okay?
I have some questions.
You're telling me through the different calculations
Right.
that there's the possibility that I would pay less in property taxes. But you're going to recommend that you adjust the property tax
Right,
rate?
as we talk about, there's
Okay.
multiple classes, right?
Yes.
There's agriculture,
Yes.
industrial, commercial,
Yes.
residential, multifamily.
Yes.
So it's a very complex calculation. So when you go revenue neutral, you're not proposing a tax increase per se.
Correct.
All you're saying is we have to adjust our rates to go revenue neutral. We've made our cuts, we've made our adjustments, we've implemented our labor cost savings, reduced the programs and services that we have to address not only the shortfall, but also the cost increase for government. As you all know, we're under a collective bargaining where all of our police and fire are in the second year of an agreement where they receive 5 to 6% increases. So all of that has to be factored in. What we're saying is we can make up our shortfalls without increasing taxes and have anybody pay any more than they're paying today.
Okay,
Okay?
okay. I think I hear what you're saying,
So
but
revenue
there
neutral,
could
if
be a
you go 18
situation.
million, now that 18 million is an
Right,
increase
I understand that,
on
I
people.
understand that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that, I'm really trying to understand your revenue neutral
Right.
definition. And
Yeah.
I'm really trying to understand that that could mean that somebody that would have paid less is gonna have to pay the same.
Correct.
Okay, that's
Correct.
what I wanted to know.
Right.
To
But
just
you don't want
clarify.
anybody in
To
this
just
challenging
clarify.
environment to pay any
Yes.
more than they're already paying.
Yes, okay,
Yes.
I understand what you're.
That's revenue neutral property tax rate adjustments.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, I understand.
Okay.
Then I would like to ask the same question of Honolulu, please. Okay, in listening to,
Having been raised on the Big Island, I
Yes.
agree. No, it is,
I'm
again,
listening to, hold on a second while I ask you the question. I'm listening to some of the things that you've said in this testimony alone. And you were saying that already, before even this TAT, that you guys are planning on increasing taxes, property taxes. So I want to make it clear, because it sounds like what we're saying is Governor Lingo's proposal by taking the TAT is saying that that's gonna cause you to raise taxes. But what I've heard prior to that for Honolulu is that you're gonna raise taxes despite the fact that we're gonna take away that we may possibly, or this bill says that we're proposing to take away the TAT.
So to answer your question, I did, in response to Representative Choi, I did state that we're looking at raising taxes for a class of homeowners
Yes.
who don't live in their residences.
Yes.
That's a minority group, but it is a group within the residential classification. The majority of them, for example, if you live in the home that you own, I live in the home that I own, our
Well,
real property
talk
taxes
about-
will not go up.
Let's talk about where it will go up, because we often think that in a time where we're raising property taxes on other than owner occupants, what happens? That is gonna go to some oblivious, person that can afford it. And a lot of the times when you're talking about taxing rentals, that gets passed on to the renter. So it's not like it just goes, people go unscathed, or it only goes to people that can afford it. In fact, I can tell you that, someone who's very low income, and a friend of mine, that's happening to her. When the sewer fee goes up, that happens to her, the increase in rent. So it's not only the owner occupant that is going to be, that won't be affected. Let me make that straight. It will also be other residents that just so happen to be renting, is my point. Okay, the second
That is a debate
question that I
we did
wanted
have
to
at the council, by
ask
the way.
you
Minority Leader,
is,
we did
yes.
have that debate at the council, and it'd be great, you could join that, you could come over, run for the council, and have this discussion. This very discussion was had, and it is a valuable discussion to have at the city and county level. The end of the day, they decided to create a homeowners class, and the reason
I agree
is we
with you,
followed the
and-
other neighbor island.
I'm going to ask the testifier and the committee member, let's not speak over each other because it's very difficult. So
Mi-
please,
Good point, thank you.
yeah.
Mr. Chair, I think
Yeah,
this is,
ask questions, please.
I am trying to
Yeah.
ask questions.
Okay, please.
Mr. Chair, I just think our testifiers used to being on this side, so, anyway, I have this question to ask. You bring up that article and the threat or the realization, I guess you put into it, about New York, I believe, and how they're cutting essential services. And that's all what, I understand that, that's a real threat. But I find that difficult because when I asked you, would you be willing to take a look at the rail funds? If we were to allow you that flexibility to say, hey, first responders or rail, what are you gonna choose? The answer unequivocally said, no, the rail is for the rail.
Yes, to repeat my answer, I said the way the legislation is written and the way the county council has passed the legislation, we parroted what the state legislature set in motion, can only be used for rail.
Yes.
I then went on to say that I believe that with the building of rail, it will stimulate our economy.
I understand that.
That will generate tax revenue, so we don't have to cut the budgets of our first responders.
So
That's
how
what
are
I
you
said.
going to handle then the furloughs and cutting, because I'm guessing furloughs will also include the firefighters and policemen, or a pay cut?
We will be furloughing, following the HGA model for HGA employees, starting this coming fiscal year in FY11. We will look to see what happens with the UPW. As you know, there's negotiations ongoing. They're going to reach an agreement at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if there weren't furloughs in that proposal too, and we'll be following what is set at the end of those negotiations. So it's a multitude of different things. As I mentioned, it's a mix and match, a market basket. It's increasing some real property taxes, not increasing those of people who live in their homes. We're going to be looking to furlough. We're going to be raising fees, and we're going to be restricting our different departments by 4.5% in addition to the 3% we did last year.
But you
And
don't
that's
want
just
to
some of
make,
them.
so the question is, but you don't want to make the decision on whether or not the rail or the first responders or any of these furloughs are where the priority is between the two?
I think I did. I said the rail project will generate revenue, so we do not have to make
Okay.
those tough decisions. It'll generate additional
So-
revenue, so we have economic stimulus, so we have greater
I'm sorry,
income
but
to
you
put.
just confused me now. So basically, you're saying with the rail and your commitment to move forward, you're then saying you don't have to furlough this year?
No, I didn't say that. I said it's going to generate revenue so we don't have to
In
make
the
difficult
future.
decisions. Yeah, in the future.
Okay, but you
Because
still.
next year is going to be another very tough year for all the counties and the state, as you
I
know.
just wanted to make sure I heard
Yes.
you correctly. Thank you.